Okay, I've had several fellas on the river ask me about where the fish are when I'm going upriver, the stretches that I know that I've seen fish. This is the Perryville Road, Perryville Bridge, and this is the South Branch that comes in. This is the North Branch from Belvedere. Mid to late summer, I've seen 36-inch plus northern on the bottom of the river, just kind of hanging out like submarines right in this area. This area here is always fished. There's a ledge, like a limestone ledge that comes out from that ledge that's above, right where the South Branch comes in, and I see a lot of guys catching bass and stuff in there. Then you come down the river, and this is the spring. There's a spring that comes in right here at this bend. It comes, actually they've got it up here, but it's actually the spring comes in right here. I see a lot of guys catching walleye in there. And then you come around the bend, and then this is a big. It kind of forms like the one of the widest spots in the river, and there's also a cliff here. Off of that cliff, there's another limestone ledge that comes out maybe 15-20 feet, and then it drops off. It's real deep, so there's some deep water there, at least probably 15 feet at the deepest spot, maybe more. And I've seen guys catch large. I saw a guy catch a 19-inch smallie. He was fishing right from the bank, right in here. There's a swift area right in here, and he was fishing right off the bank. There's a bike trail that goes along all the way along here, so he just walked up and he was fishing right off the bank. He caught a 19-inch smallmouth right at the base of that swift area. Then you come down, and it gets real swift here at the I'm gonna move my map up. It gets real swift right here at this bend here, and right about, well, this is Black Hawk Bridge, and the bike path goes right on along up here. There's a little creek that comes out from the quarry that's over here, and up from that there's three little like beach areas that stick out, and it's about a half mile from here up to this area here. It's approximately about right here, the third one that sticks out, the rocks that stick out. And you could get to it from walking the bike path, but you could fish this from that rocky beach, I call it. There's three of them. There's three of them that stick out. But on this third one, between the second and the third one, about midstream, there's a deep sandy channel. When I say deep, maybe 5 feet, 5-6 feet deep. It's a sandy channel. It makes it's like a V, and I see hundreds of bass just kind of hanging out in that deep channel when the water gets clear, mid to late summer. I mean, literally hundreds. And I don't know, you could probably just fish right off the bank or wade into the water a little bit, but you want to fish that center. And then you come down river, and then this whole side here is real steep wooded, and this whole left side there's bass hanging out in those, I call it rip rock. It's like big rocks. But you only thing is on that, you've got to probably wade the river or float it and fish it. And then you get down here to the bridge, and I see a lot of guys fishing on this side, and I'm sure they catch stuff. But right over here, there's a pool on this side of the river, right before the bridge. There's actually a couple deep pools, and there's always bass in there. And late summer last year, the water was real low and clear, and it had kind of a scum over it, and there was probably 500 fish hanging out underneath that. I think they were hanging out, hiding from the eagles. Okay, I gotta move my map up. Okay, we're still in the forest preserve here, and this doesn't show it. I'm gonna blow this up a little bit. There's a parking area. I believe it's right in this area, right in here. But there's two islands that the map isn't showing. There's an island on this side that doesn't have a tree on it. And then there's an island right here. There's a little channel that goes through here, and then there's a channel that goes up through here, and then there's the fast moving one goes around the side. But if you could wade out to this island when the water's lower and fish the front part of this wooded island, right where there's a whole bunch of trees that have fallen in the front, and then the front part of that wooded island that's on this side is kind of undercut. And I see a lot of bass and a lot of catfish hanging out underneath that where it's undercut on the tree island. Fish the front side of that tree island. Okay, let me move the map. And then right about let's see here. There's other places, but I'm kind of hitting the high spots. This side of this curve is deep, and I've seen big bass and big walleye caught right in this area. And you can hike down to this landing. It's the old Lithuanian landing, and you can fish off that. I saw a guy catch a big walleye. He was casting right off of here into that deep side on the bend. And then you come around, and mid to late summer, I see tons of fish all the way along this side. Just schools of them, all kinds of stuff. They kind of it's kind of deep in there, and there's a lot of trees, but that whole side holds the fish. Okay, gotta move the map. Okay, and down here, I believe it's this island here. It's either this one or the one, maybe there's one that's not shown. But on the last island that sticks up in this area, I'm pretty sure it's right here. There's always a bunch of fish. There's a big log in that hole, and there's always a bunch of big bass in there. And then certain times of the summer, right down here before you get to this swift area, well, it's pretty swift in here, but all through here, there's submerged logs that are kind of half buried in sand, and then there's a lot of this, I call it Fabio grass. It's like long grass that kind of goes with the water. I see a lot of bass darting through there when I'm coming through there. Just big. You wouldn't think they would be in the shallows like that, but there's a lot of logs that are submerged, and they're hiding out in that grass and those logs. But certain times of year in the summer, late June, July, I see a lot of bass in there. And I told one guy about it, and he goes, "Man, thanks for telling me about that place. I caught a lot of bass in there." And then, see, at the bottom of this Swift area, there's a deep hole. And then you get down. Oops, I lost my pointer. Where'd my pointer go? There it is. Before the bridge, before the 39 bridge, I would guess it's probably, well, it maybe is right here. Big, steep hill with trees, and there's a deep hole right in here. And there's tons of fish in that hole. I think this is it right here. And there's little pools, you know, but they move around. But that deep, especially late hot summer, this there's a point that sticks out. Let me see if I blow it up. It'll show. No, it really doesn't. I'm pretty sure this is it right here. There's a deep, deep hole, and it's shaded. That always holds a lot of fish. Alrighty, I hope that helps. Until I figure out how to print up a map to hand out to you guys, hopefully this helps. And it looks like the river valley, the rain made I can see all the honeysuckle popping up. Won't be long, I won't be able to see the other side of the river valley. But I can just, last night, the rain really made that honeysuckle pop out. All right, take care. God bless.